So there are three specific reasons why it gets harder to lose fat as we get older, and each of those reasons has a fix. Our bodies are incredibly adaptive, and once you understand what's happening, the frustration can go away, and so will the fat. So, in less than 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what has changed in our body over time, and maybe more importantly, how we can adapt and fix it. So maybe you've been trying to lose some body fat, doing all the things you think you should do, but the scale won't move no matter how hard you try, at least not in the right direction. Well, the truth is that your body is just playing by different rules now. And once we understand the rules, fat loss gets a whole lot easier. So it's not hopeless, but you also don't have a lot of time to just keep guessing. This isn't about willpower, it's biology and strategy. And most people over 50 are trying to do the right things, probably just doing the same things that used to work when they were younger. They're working out, they're eating less, they're trying to be disciplined, but their body is quietly working against them. So we're going to focus on those three things that change after 50. First is your blood sugar, second is your muscle mass, and the third one is your stress levels. So if we fix these three, the fat loss will follow. So let's get into it. Let's start with the biggest one first, which is blood sugar and insulin. So when you eat carbs, your blood sugar rises. Then your body releases a hormone called insulin to shuttle that sugar into your cells. And for most of our lives, that has worked just fine. But then, biologically, three things change as we age. The first is that our cells don't respond to insulin as well as they used to. It's called insulin resistance. And insulin resistance means two things at the same time. First is that your blood sugar stays higher longer. Not good. And your body stores more fat easily. So if you're eating less, even if you're working out, your body is now receiving new information. It's being signaled to store this fuel, not burn it. That's why fat loss starts to feel like you're banging your head against a wall. But this is not a willpower problem, it's a chemistry problem. And the good news is there's a fix. You can improve insulin sensitivity, and when you do, fat becomes fuel again. And the two biggest things in the toolbox are muscle and blood sugar control. So the more muscle you have, the more places your body has to put that glucose instead of turning it into fat. That's why strength training is absolutely non-negotiable after 50. And it's also why what you eat matters more than ever. Highly processed carbs and sugar are going to spike your insulin fast, which is going to keep your body fat locked in storage. Our supermarkets are filled with the reasons why. It's refined sugar, but that's a whole other video on that poison. Protein, fiber, and whole foods are going to do the opposite. They're going to keep your blood sugar stable. And when blood sugar is stable, insulin comes down. That's when fat loss can finally happen. So if you've been working out and eating less, but nothing is changing, it's not because you're too old. It's because blood sugar and insulin weren't working with you anymore. And that's fixable. So number two, the next piece of the puzzle is muscle. And losing it as we age quietly shuts down our metabolism. Most people don't realize it's happening because it happens so slowly over time. But starting around your 30s, you lose a little more muscle every decade unless you actively fight to keep it or to rebuild it. By the time you're in your 50s or 60s, you can lose significant amount of muscle weight. Muscle weighs more than fat. If your fat increases over time, but your muscle goes down, the scale won't necessarily show the change, but your metabolism will have changed. And muscle is what controls your energy engine. Metabolism is how much energy you burn just staying alive, how high your engine is idling. And muscle is an expensive tissue. It burns calories all day, every day, even when you're sitting on a couch. But fat does not. So I hear all the time from my clients that they're just not hungry anymore, and sometimes it's a real effort just to try to sit down and eat anything at all. But when people over 50 start eating less and doing more cardio, they're losing muscle along with that fat. And yes, that makes the scale go down for a while, but it really just makes the problem worse. Now there's less muscle on your body, requiring less fuel, and it becomes a vicious circle. What you eat just gets stored as more fat. Our internal system doesn't know that you're trying to lose weight. It thinks you're trying to prepare for a famine. That's why so many people say, I barely eat anything and I still can't lose any weight. And they're not lying. They've just unknowingly created a much smaller engine for themselves. So the fix, the solution isn't starving yourself, it's rebuilding your muscle. When you lift weights, even light ones, you're telling your body, hey, I need this muscle. Don't burn it, use the fat instead. And when muscle comes back, metabolism comes back with it. It's the opposite of a vicious cycle. So that's why protein matters so much more after 50. Protein gives your body the building blocks to repair and rebuild your muscle. If you're not eating enough protein, your body can't rebuild back what training is trying to create. So if you've been eating less and exercising more, but you keep losing strength and not fat, it's because you're burning muscle and you're shrinking the engine that burns it. But the good news is, engines can be rebuilt. Which brings me to my third and final piece, which is stress. And most people don't realize how much it matters. I'm not just talking about emotional stress, but also lack of sleep, overtraining, dieting too hard, and never fully recovering. All of those things tell your body the same thing. It tells your body we're in danger, we're not safe. And when your body feels stressed, it releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol's only job in life is to keep you alive in a crisis. But cortisol also does something else. It tells your body to hold on to body fat. And that's not a flaw, that's survival biology 101. As we get older, we don't bounce back from stress the way we used to. You can have one bad night of sleep, a hard workout, an argument, too few calories. They all keep cortisol levels elevated for days. And when cortisol stays high, fat loss is going to slow down. So even if you're eating well and you're exercising, this is a place where a lot of people get stuck. They think they should just try harder, but that backfires. Then they feel frustrated. In my experience coaching nutrition and fitness, I then see one of two things happen. People either say, this is pointless, it is what it is, or they work harder, they eat less, they push even more, they do more endless cardio. And the thing is that that's just going to cause more stress, and then that's going to create more cortisol. And the body responds by holding on even tighter. So the fix, it isn't in doing less activity, it's in recovering better. And that's going to take the form of whatever works best for you. It could be stretching, sleep, reading a book, walking the dog, listening to music. But when stress comes down, your cortisol comes down. And when your cortisol comes down, your fat loss turns back on. So you're right, losing weight after 50 is harder. And now you know the why. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because it's too late. It's because blood sugar, muscle loss, stress are all working together against you. And maybe nobody ever showed you how to fix it. The good news is you can. So this video is part of my Over 50 Strength series. So if you haven't watched the others yet, the full playlist is linked right here and it's tucked somewhere down below. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what to eat after 50. The foods that support blood sugar, protect muscle, and make fat loss easier instead of harder. So if this helped you, hit subscribe, share it with someone else who might be stuck, and let me know in the comments below what has been the most frustrating part of losing weight for you. I read every one. So I'll see you in the next.